Okay, testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there you go. Thanks, Adrian. I actually want to check something, and I'll make my comment as soon as I've heard from Rory there quickly. ZS6RBJ and the net, ZS6OPS. All right, good stuff, Rory. Yeah, I'm also happy, dude. I had mushrooms the first time in 17 months. Eish, my palate is jumping for joy and throwing a party, let me tell you. And I tried to keep the cream one side. I didn't want Carl to do a mushroom, creamy mushroom sauce or anything tonight, because I want that fresh cream for the malva pudding, which he has eventually put together. So there we go. Anyway, the comment I wanted to make quickly, Adrian, I don't know if you've adjusted your mic gain on your rig there, but you are extremely low in comparison to everybody else. I had to double up my volume to sort of bring you to the same point that Rory's at. So maybe we can do a test on that one a little bit later. However, I think let's get started here and just have a look quickly worldwide. What is happening? Well, I'll tell you what, the biggest thing at this stage is still the fires. You know, guys, this is something that is, again, unprecedented, especially, you know, countries like Turkey, Greece. Greece has actually called for massive evacuations to have been taken place, and they've had to seriously look at getting people out of harm's way. A couple of people have lost their lives, and it just brings up the whole point of what could in actual happen here with us. You know, we experienced the Knysna fires of 2017, and I know it's 5 years ago, but that type of thing could rear its head again. I was actually quite shocked, to be quite honest. On Friday or Thursday or Friday was the 1-year anniversary of the Beirut blast, that fertilizer chemical blast. For me, it was just amazing that a year had flown by so quickly, and you know, these things are coming up in this aspect. And then, of course, like Turkey, for example, suddenly overnight they got 56 fires that have just flared up, literally flared up overnight. No reason, no cause, nothing at face value, at least I should say. I mean, there's always a cause for fire, especially when you look at the fire triangle. If you've got all three of those elements in place, you have fire, which is the whole concept of firefighting. Remove one of the three elements and you no longer have fire. You know, it's actually quite scary. And then when you take that and couple it up, let me clear my timer quickly. You guys must just let me know if you're picking up any indication of us being keyed out tonight. Okay, ZS6OPS returning. If you couple the weather conditions and phenomena that is taking place worldwide, and sort of imported into the South African context, and then couple that up with what has recently taken place in KZN and parts of Gauteng, especially KZN, which has now got a second declaration of a disaster within their region or their province. It actually makes for pretty scary times all around, and I think every individual should be aware of this and should, in actual fact, be prepared. And I don't mean be prepared as in prepper prepared, but at least be prepared to be able to react and respond in a timely manner, regardless of the situation that occurs. And then, of course, when we bring this up now into COVID-19, guys, COVID-19 is becoming quite scary, or scarier than what it was a year ago for me personally, because there doesn't seem to be an end in sight on this one. And I don't say that to raise alarm bells or to sort of instill any fear or even provide fake news. I make that statement or voice my opinion based on what is actually happening worldwide. At this stage, the US has even stated that the COVID-19 cases have skyrocketed as a result of the Delta variant. And out of 800, just almost 900, I think it was 865 persons who had been surveyed, it was discovered that something like 39% of the people, of that almost 900 people, had in actual fact been vaccinated and were now COVID positive well after they had received either the one or the two jabs as was required. And something like 5% of that, almost 40%, were in actual fact admitted with severe COVID-19 symptoms. So, you know, I think it's time that we pay a little bit more attention to what is actually happening, and that we don't just take it for granted that as a result of having been vaccinated. All right, Adrian's sitting there with a fat smile on his dial because I was about to be rudely interrupted there again. ZS6 OPS returning. Basically, I think we need to really consider what we are doing in our day-to-day lives with regards to COVID-19, and we shouldn't be taking it for granted that because of the fact that we have been vaccinated either single dose or double dose, or in some cases, like the Americans are now going for 3 doses, and Israel, I think, is another country that has agreed to roll out a third jab or booster shot. I think we mustn't take it for granted that because we've received the vaccinations, now we are not in a position to ever get COVID-19 again. That, unfortunately, is not the way that this vaccine has been designed or developed. This vaccine was actually designed and developed to reduce the severity of COVID-19 when we do get it. And I think that is where a lot of misconception has crept in. People have started to let their guard down. They're having their vaccinations, and then they want to go out and run around and all the rest of the good stuff, and you know, go back to what we knew as the norm pre-COVID-19 days. Well, we don't know at this stage, and I say I'm talking about the medical community as a whole. There's still a lot of research being undertaken and being conducted, and a lot of theories being put on the table and sort of bounced around and brainstormed and all the rest of it, is whether or not the vaccines are in actual fact going to be effective, not effective, or otherwise. There's the point that I'm trying to make is there's still a lot of question. And I think that as responsible adults, I did use the word responsible, we should in actual fact be very careful in terms of what we are doing. Even amongst those people who have already contracted COVID-19, whether you were hospitalized as a severe case or had mild or were asymptomatic, it doesn't make a difference. Just be aware of the fact that there is a possibility of, again, contracting COVID-19. Second time round, you never know. You might, if you were mild or asymptomatic, you might become a severe case. You could in actual fact still be hospitalized. The figures at, I think it was the 3rd of August, there were over 15,000 people that were admitted countrywide. Let me clear the timer. Okay, ZS6 OPS returning with something like 3,500 or 4,000 people who were admitted to ICU, and a further 1,300 odd people were on ventilators. So just looking at the number of people admitted to ICU, 3,000 to 4,000, well, you know, guys, that's an extremely high number. As I said at the beginning of last year and throughout the World Health Organization broadcasts, most hospitals don't have more than 10 beds. Some hospitals, maybe 20 ICU cases at a time. Those numbers are low, yes, because normally not many people end up in ICUs. Okay, when you're looking at your high cares, your cardiothoracic units, even some of the neonatal and pediatric ICUs, those numbers might not generally be included in the total number of figures. However, the numbers are still low. You have people coming in for 2 or 3 days, then they moved out. And of course, if somebody came in and had to be moved into an ICU, they could have been transported off to another hospital where a bed was available. So again, we still need to be very careful with regards to what we are doing with COVID. And I think that is the most important thing that needs to be shared amongst people, family, friends, work colleagues, and otherwise. The other thing is the number of people who contract COVID and do have symptoms, not just the signs, but actual symptoms. One symptom in particular, which has become quite a serious one in terms of the number of patients post-COVID complaining about how the phlegm had stayed on their chest for weeks after their 10-day or their negative test if they did go for a second test. However, the respiratory tract was still sort of infected or affected, whichever way you want to look at it, with a lot of phlegm still aggravating the patients and making it difficult for them to in actual fact operate, even though their O2, SpO2 levels were at a reasonably good level. So again, let's be careful. Now, just on another note that I wanted to bring up there. No, wait, we'll leave that for next week. I think let's leave it at that. We'll do that next week. All right, from my side, I don't have anything else to report. Adrian, if you've got something, let me know. Otherwise, I think do a round of greetings and then give it back to me. And then I'll take it over to Rory. ZS6SNY, ZS6OPS.
Carry on in our lives as well, but in fact, it's always from the decisions and why that's
Okay, thanks, Adrian. Let's throw it over your side, Rory. ZS6RBJ, ZS6OPS.
Yes, thanks. Nothing more to add from my side. Good evening to everybody. ZS6OPS, ZS6RBJ. Cheers on up.
Okay, good stuff. Let's see if anybody else is late for parade this evening. And if you'd like to add your name to the bottom of my check-in list, please go ahead. ZS6OPS standing by. Okay, nothing else heard. Good stuff. There we go. That's where we're sitting at 21 minutes into the net, which seems to be about the norm. Not a problem at all. And of course, I'd like to thank Adrian and Rodi for joining the net. And again, thanks to all those people that are listening. Guys, seriously, call in, let us know that you are there. Don't be shy, don't be afraid, and also don't be intimidated. Nobody can stop you from joining us at any particular time, regardless of what it is that we are in actual fact discussing. You are more than welcome to join us. So please feel free to do so. And maybe perhaps, not listen to everybody else's foolishness at the end of the day. Just to remind everybody, the net does run from 1900, intended to be for an hour. However, it does end sooner than that. And of course, as I just said, everybody's welcome to join in. You don't have to be a member of the club or any club for that matter to make use of the repeater, regardless of what they may say, regardless of what they may feel, and regardless of what they may think. Bottom line is, they sponsor repeaters for our use. And that's all there is to be said about that one. Have a good evening for the coming week. Again, please don't forget, physical distance yourself, sanitize or wash your hands on a regular basis. Try not to touch your face. And definitely when you are around people, wear a mask. And if you do meet with family and friends, do so in small groups. Go and sit outside. I don't know. I have this thing about where do you sit, upwind or downwind? Well, I think we need to find somewhere in between where we don't have the possibility of overspray or anything along. Oh, wait, that's got to do with painting, spray painting. Well, the concept is the same. So for this coming week, have a good one. Be safe, be prepared. And of course, be happy. A special thank you to the guys out there that didn't key us out tonight. ZS6 OPS out, 7-3. They can't say I wasn't polite, the fucking cunts.